בכמויות. Two pages each person. So 2 pages. Some of these sources I brought in English, so once you add the English, it makes them more longer sources. One more for you. Wait, is there more? Yes. Okay. Do you want to take one for Becky, or you took for Becky? Or you take for Becky? That's Cesar. For Becky. Okay. בסדר. Okay, בוקר טוב. So we went through the Goran last time, right? Perek Gimel. I don't know if when I was in Shul, it was like cool to have gone through it in depth and see things right at a different level. So now we're gonna finish. We're gonna hopefully finish today Perek Dalet. Okay, so we went through the Goran, and then we saw that they left, and then she comes to Naomi, and Naomi says, "Don't worry. He's going to take care of this today," okay? And he really does. Okay, so, Pasuk Aleph, Uvoaz Allah hashar, v'yeshev sham, v'hine ha'goel over, asher diber Boaz, v'yomer sura sheva po ploni almoni, v'yasar v'yeshev. Okay, so there's a lot in the Pasuk. Now, Allah hashar, it was, first of all, it's early in the morning. Apparently he comes before anybody else. The shar is the place of din, like is the place where the shoftim sat. We were once, I'm trying to remember what city it was that you saw, that like a shar meant there was like a whole, there's like 2 chomot. And between them there were like, sometimes it was stores, like that's what that, but it was the public area was there, and they would sit there in the shar, and that's where they would do the din. I think it was like, it was up north somewhere. What? In Akko? So it wasn't in Akko because I haven't been there, but it was somewhere where there was a big battle, but it doesn't matter. Okay. But I remember seeing it, and it's like amazing. You see that a shar is not what we see as a shar. Okay, so he sits at the shar. And then it happens to be, like the Kar Mikre, that she came to Boaz's field, the Goel just happened to be walking by. Okay, so the Goel is coming by, and here I'm going to bring the Midrash that says, Amar Rabbi Shmuel ber Nachman, Afilu haya besof haolam, hetiso HaKadosh Baruch Hu ve'evio l'sham. By the way, it's really cool that the word latis, right? He would have flown him over. Is already in the midrash, in the source one. Like Hashem would have brought him all the way over. Like Hashem, like he sees the efforts Boaz is making, and he even if he was at the other end of the earth, he would have brought him here. There's another midrash. It's not here. That it says like, Naomi asat shela, Ruth asat shela, Boaz asat shelo, ani asat sheli. Hashem says, like Hashem is like helping in this case because everybody is trying their hardest to do the right thing, and both for the Chaim and the Metim. Okay, so then he says, okay, come and sit here, Ploni Almoni. Okay, now, why is he called, it was his name Ploni Almoni? Nowadays, that's what John Doe, right, his Ploni Almoni. And no, and the Midrash says, Rabbi Yoshua Omer Ploni Almoni Shmo, Rabbi Shmuel Bar Natan Amar, Ilem Haya Midivrei Torah. So like the Almoni is from Ilem, meaning like that he was an Ilem person, is somebody who can't speak. So that also Ploni Almoni also couldn't speak something. What couldn't he speak? He didn't know enough Divrei Torah. So therefore he's called Almoni. Ilem Midivrei Torah. Amar HaRishonim lo metu ela al yedei shenatlu otan. Okay, well, this is going to happen later. He's going to reject the Geulah because of Ruth, and he says to himself, Machlon and Kilion died because he married Ruth and Orpah, so why would I take them, right? Chasli litla. And then he says, but he didn't realize, V'lo haya yodea shekvar nitchadsha halacha amoni v'lo amonit, moavi v'lo moavit. Okay? And so he didn't know Torah, so therefore he's called Almoni from his lack of ability to speak Torah. Okay. That's it. And also notice Boaz's authority. He says, come and sit here, and Ploni Almoni sits there. You're going to see also the Zkenim are going to listen to Boaz. V'yikach 10 anashim miziknei ha'ir, v'yomer shvu po v'yeshvu. Okay, and he also tells the Ziknei ha'ir. This is actually one of the first sources that 10 is a minyan. Yeah, it's in the Midrash. It says that in 2. V'yikach 10 anashim miziknei ha'ir, v'yomer Rabbi Alexandri, mikan she'en reshut lekatan lishev. Okay, so the first thing we learn is that you shouldn't sit down until the more higher authority person tells you you can sit down. Okay, so that's the first thing. Rabbi Pinchas, mikan lebait ze shayu memanin zkenim bebeit hamishtaot shelem, meaning he's going to now get married, so he's putting zkenim in charge. Amar Rabbi Elazar v'Bar Rabbi Yossi mikan leberkat chatanim be'asara, also that a wedding needs 10 people. Amar Rabbi Yodan ben Pazi lo sof devar bachur lebetula ela afilu alman la'almana ad shetiyah b'asara, that every wedding needs to be 10, and it's not written right here, but that also we learned that it's a minyan. There's another place. The first place that we learn minyan is from Avraham with Sodom and Amorah, that like Hashem says, okay, for 10 I'll do it, so you need a minyan. But anyway, here is mamash mefurash. Okay. So he tells them to sit. Okay. ויאמר לגואל, חלקת השדה אשר לאחינו לאלימלך, מכרה נעמי השבה משדה מואב. Okay, so he says to the goel, chelkat is your nachala. It could be more than one sadeh. Chelkat is saying all of Elimelech's chelka. It says machra. So the question is, did she sell it before and is now selling it again and they're buying it again? But probably it just means she wants to sell it. Now she's back. She's been back for a bit of time. Now she wants to sell it. And so therefore, and it's being sold, and therefore this mitzvah of Geulah is coming up. V'ani amarti, אגלה אוזנך לאמור קנה נגד היושבים ונגד זקני עמי, אם תגאל גאל, ואם לא יגאל, הגידה לי, ואדע כי אין זולתך לגאול. ואנוכי אחריך, ויאמר אנוכי יגאל. Okay, so, first of all, how many times is the ga'al in these psukim? Right? There's, first of all, there was the go'el, right, in the previous pasuk, that's one. Then there's agalal znecha, neged oshvim, neged ami, im tig'al ge'al, another 2. V'im lo yigal, 4. Hagida li ve'eda ki en zulatcha lig'ol, v'anochi acharecha, anochi eg'al. Okay, so that's actually 6. There's supposed to be 7. Let's find the 7th. Maybe it's the next pasuk. No, Vayomer HaGoel. But no, then he has another 7. Like there's even. They're supposed to be here 7. 1. No, that's just. I'll let you know. It's not. I don't think it's Gal. Tigal, Gal. Right, Nachon. Oh yeah, Nachon. In Pasuk Aleph, there's Zina Goel. So we have 7 times Pasuk Goel. This concept that we're being Goel, and now Boaz in this first Pasuk is just presenting what's Naomi's. Okay, he's not even talking yet about Ruth's. He's presenting what's Naomi's, and he's saying we need to buy the sadeh. He's saying the first step, and here the Malbim says that there's going to be 2 different things to do. And we're looking at Siri. Az gilalo Boaz she'i afshar lig'ol chelek shel Naomi. Oh, sorry. No, that's later. Don't read that. We're going to read it in a second. But first, he's just talking about buying the sadeh for Naomi to be goel, so it stays in the family. Okay, that's the first category that he's doing right now. It's been neglected. Yeah.
So now he has to buy it with money?
Right, he has to buy with money, and then he has to invest in it to have it grow. But this is from the Torah. Like, if your relatives, this happens, then you are goel for him.
And the money then goes to Naomi to support her?
That's a good question. Does he get the money? Does she get the money? He's buying the field from her. So that money goes to her, and then he's just making sure that remember, nachala is important, that the nachala stays in the family. Okay? We haven't talked about Ibum yet.
No, but I'm just asking, is that...
No, so afterwards is going to be another step where if he marries Ruth and has a child, and that's in the name of Machlon, then the land will also be inherited by a child that is supposedly the hemshech of Machlon. Okay? But first step is just to legol the land for Naomi to keep it in the family. Okay? And that the Goel is happy to do. Anochi Yagal. Right? He's okay.
It's just a financial investment.
It's a financial investment, however, it is a sadeh that hasn't been taken care of. Meaning you don't know if it's good or bad land. I'm saying he's doing it not for the purposes, I think, of the financial investment. I think he's doing it to keep it. Then that nachala is gone. Yeah, right. It messes up. Although I think what happens in the Yovel is a good question. Like, would it anyway go back? But there's no descendants. So then this nachala possibly. So probably they are. Meaning, that's also an explanation why she goes to Boaz's field, is he's probably next to them because he's the family. That Nachala was divided up. Like if they're all the descendants of Nachshon ben Avinadav, they probably all got a plot in the same area. Right, if it's just a financial investment, which like Tamar said, okay, is it just a financial investment, then I'm okay doing that. What I mean, again, it is a risk because you're investing money in something else and like whatever. Well,
weeds grow in that field, they go into your field as well.
Oh, you mean like weeds? Yeah, nachon. But these sadot are big, and they need to. First of all, these sadot are big. You have your own fields to take care of. Okay, everybody's in charge of what they're in charge of. Third thing, it still is Elimelech's. They don't know that he died or if he's coming back. And number 4, there was a Rav. So apparently there wasn't food. Something was with the land. Okay, so all these factors is understandable. This probably was one of the first katzirs since the Rav. So therefore,
In 10 years?
Yeah. In 10 years, it's worth it. Oh, in 10 years. Nachon. More than 10 years. Probably more than 10 years, because Machlon and Kilyon were there 10 years after. Yeah. Okay, so he's willing to do this. He's okay with. Vayomer Boaz, Vayom kanotcha sadeh miyad Naomi, ume'et Ruth haMoaviyah, eshet hamet, kaniti la'akim shem hamet al nachalato. Now he says here kaniti. It's actually Kri is kanita. But the K'tiv is Kaniti. But you should know, though, okay, but, and here I think it was Malbim or Dat Mikra, who said that half the field is Naomi's, that maybe what happened is that Naomi gets half the field because it's from Ruktuba, which was Orpah's part, and Ruth gets half the field because she's the wife of Machlon. So you're buying it from both of them. At first he only talked about Naomi. Now he's also saying, but you're also buying from Me'et Ruth haMoaviyah, and you're buying her. I mean, we don't think it's the same kind of buying, but you're also taking her so that you can keep Shem Hamet, which is the whole point of the Geulah, is that I'm keeping this in the family, I'm mamshich my family, and therefore if I have an opportunity to also have a child that will be mamshich the family, then that can happen through Ruth. Okay? And here's where the Malbim explains, Az gilalo Boaz she'if shal ligol chelek shel Naomi levad, ki hagoel hakoneh chelek shel Naomi, יצטרך לגול גם החלק של רות. ויש הבדל ביניהם שחלק של נעמי יקנה מאחד מדרכי הקנייה שקונים בהם שדה. Okay, so there's the goel, he's saying, now he's explaining there's the part of Naomi and there's a part of Ruth. Now the part of Naomi, you have to do it in one way, which is just to buy a sadeh. You're doing one kind of action, which is what the goel agreed to do. אבל החלק השייך לרות לא יקנה באופן זה רק בדרך איבום, שייבם את רות. Now, if he marries Ruth, he doesn't even need to buy the sadeh, because he's marrying her and she has the rights to the sadeh, and then now he has rights to the sadeh. Okay, so he's sort of buying it through marrying her or doing yibum with her. וממילא יזכה מהשדה. And then he'll get to the sadeh, ורק שאז צריך להקים שם המת על נחלתו. But if you're marrying her, you have to also understand you're going to have a child that will be in the name of the met, מחלון. אחר שבא לזכות בחלק זה על ידי ייבום, שעל ידי כך יקום על שם המת לנחלה. Through the ייבום, will be in name of the נחלה will be in his name. וזה שכתוב ביום קנותך השדה, רצה לומר לא תקנה חלקת השדה, דהיינו רק החלק של נעמי, רק תקנה השדה קלה בשני חלקיו. If you want to buy the two parts, you're buying Naomi's part, but you're also buying Ruth's through ייבום. Okay. אמנם החלק השני תקנה מאת רות המואבי. אוקיי, אשת המת קנית, בחלק זה צריך אתה לקנות אשת המת. Okay, so that's saying the same thing. Okay, so that's, now he's this is changing the picture. What's the goel's answer? And again, notice the amount of times we're saying the word goel. So the first part of all the 7 goels was being goel, and he's agreeing to be goel, is establishing it. Now he's going to actually uproot his ability to be goel. Okay, he's going to say he can't do it. ויאמר הגואל, לא אוכל לגאול לי פן אשחית את נחלתי, גאל לך אתה את גאולתי, כי לא אוכל לגאול. Okay, again, he's like, this word is like over and over again. וזאת לפנים בישראל על הגאולה ועל התמורה לקיים כל דבר. שלף איש נעלו ונתן לרעהו, וזאת התעודה בישראל. Okay, so he says, I can't do this.
What does it mean, penashchit et nachlati?
Right, okay, that's a good question. What is penashchit? What could it be?
You know, saying like, if I take on Machlon's role, I become a Nachman, right?
Ah, manyen. Okay, that's a possibility. So there were 3 explanations brought by, meaning that's a possibility. I think that's not one of them. But there is, what was bothering him? One is he was worried there'd be fighting in the family, meaning his descendants, and what would happen with the sadeh. That's the first, dat mikra. This is dat mikra. 2 is he has another wife, so he takes another wife. He's going to be mashchit his nachala. And the third one, which I've seen in other places, which is more common to say, he's mashchit because he's marrying a Moaviyah, which is based on the Midrash, right? That he feels that he's mashchit his own descendants because if he brings in a Moaviyah, then that's... yeah, exactly. Which we would also not be so happy if our descendants... Now, again, we know she's Jewish, we know the halacha, I was actually looking it up, like when really was it mitchadesh? Moavi lo Moavit, Ammoni v'lo Ammonit. So actually, where I looked it up, it said that there was a masoret from Moshe Sinai, but it wasn't talked about, and then it was mitchadesh again, as we said, and brought as a din in the time of Shmuel v'Beit Dino. Okay, so around this time. I think we can all identify. We all want our children to marry, and we don't want to have 2 wives. We all want our children to marry nice Jewish girls who we know they're yichus. Like we don't really feel comfortable with this. So there's something understandable, but it's also, on the other hand, selfish. Like meaning, like he is not willing to be Mekim Shem Hamet, this is the only way to allow Naomi and Elimelech's line to have a hemshech.
I'm so confused with this whole business with the go out. I'm just like, I'm
Okay.
not understanding
The Goel. Okay, so then we have to make it again. Last week we talked about that. The Goel, according to Chazal, is Elimelech's brother. And Boaz, according to Chazal, is his nephew. So the Goel is a closer Goel, family-wise, than... Yes, yes, he's doing this properly. That's why he didn't sleep with Ruth in the Goren. He wanted it to be done kosher. Meaning, and the kosher way is to first offer the Goel because he is closer, and it's the proper thing is to have him do the Geulah first. I mean, he is getting it from it something.
But the Goel is not wanting.
So he was okay with just buying the land, but he's not okay with marrying Ruth.
Got it.
Okay, with the Ibum thing.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so now, וזאת לפנים בישראל על הגאולה ועל התמורה. And here Rashi, I think I brought Rashi here. 1 second. על הגאולה, the Geulah being the selling and the buying of the land, and the Tmurah is that you're also taking root with it, and that the Shalaf Ishna Alo is a sign of kinyan, okay, is a sign of buying. And the Malbim brings the whole thing that that simply was the way they bought something, was giving the shoe. But remember also, there's that aspect in the Yibum thing, that the giving of the shoe is him not being willing also to, it's hinting at him not being willing to do the Yibum part. ונתן לרעהו, וזאת תעודה בישראל. And when you give that shoe, it's like signing the contract, okay? ויאמר הגואל, so and here, I mean in Rashi, וזהו קניין וכמו שאנו קונים בסודר במקום נעל, like when I think we buy with money instead of a נעל, ורבותינו זיכרונם לברכה נחלקו בדבר מי נתן למי. Okay, so the Midrash says, who actually gave the shoe? Was it, or on the second side? Yeah, source 6. Who gave the shoe to who? Was it Boaz to the Goel, or the Goel to Boaz? Now, if you also take the Ibum thing, it makes more sense that it was the Goel to Boaz. Like he's taking his, like Chalitza, yeah.
Well, we also understand from that there's like no kahuna that comes from Ruth, because if there's Chalitza being done, then there's nowhere, right?
Nobody, well, she can't marry a Kohen.
But her kids could?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I thought it was just, okay.
No. But meaning, are you saying because she's a Gioret?
No, I thought that if she does Chalitza, then she...
Oh, no. So she's not doing Chalitza.
I mean, if he's old to Boaz and then he dies, then after this, she can...
Oh, she can't marry a Kohen? Well, yeah.
She can't marry Cohen anyway because she's an almana.
Yeah, right. Although you can marry, an almana can marry a Hediot. A Hediot she can. Only Kohen Gadol she can't marry. A divorcee can't. Yeah, but she's not a divorcee. Yeah. Yeah, so Chalitza. Right. And she can't marry a Kohen. Right.
Her last status is Olivia, and that's what counts.
No, but if she did Chalitza, it doesn't matter. Boaz is not a Kohen. It's okay. For the future. Yeah. You're worried about Ruth. Okay. יפה. Okay. ויאמר הגואל לבועז, קנה לך וישלוף נעלו. Okay. Yeah, it does sound like it's his own shoe, but again, like it could really be, doesn't specifically say, but yeah, it sounds like he's giving the shoe, and then he's giving the kinyan to him, because he has the rights, he's giving the rights to Boaz to buy. Okay, so ויאמר בועז לזקנים וכל העם, עדים הייתם היום כי קניתי את כל אשר לאלימלך ואת כל אשר לכיליון ומחלון מיד נעמי. Okay, you're all edim that I've bought everything for Elimelech, from Elimelech, and from Kilion and from Machlon. In the beginning of Ruth, Machlon comes before Kilion, but probably here he says Kilion first because he's not finished with Machlon, because he's also going to buy Ruth as a product of Machlon. וגם את רות המואביה אשת מחלון קניתי לי לאישה להקים שם המת על נחלתו ולא יכרת שם המת מעם אחיו ומשאר מקומו עדים אתם היום. Okay, so and I'm also buying Ruth as my wife to in order to bring the Shem Hamet al Nachalato, and that he doesn't get cut off from his achim and from his place, and you are Edim. Okay? Second. Okay, so I thought this was really nice of Rashi. La'akim Shem Hamet al Nachalato. How by marrying Ruth is the name of Machlon going to be on his nachala? So Rashi says, Mitoch she'ishto yotz'a v'ba b'nachala, because Ruth is going to come and go on the nachala, umachneset umotzia, and she's bringing people in and doing that. Omrim zot hayta eshet Machlon v'shmo nizkar alea. I thought that was really beautiful. Like, it's really true. Like, you do think of her as she used to be Machlon's wife. It's true, she's now Boaz's wife. But the reason she's Boaz's wife is because she was Machlon's wife. So therefore, because she's there, you're remembering Shem Hamet. Okay? And also the child will be in the end also in the name in the end of Machlon. Okay. Vayamruk. That's in the name of Machlon. Right. And it only goes to him because he's from Machlon. Yeah, Nachon.
I feel like in the beginning of the story is painted out to be someone who's like a Rasha. And here I
Boaz?
No.
Oh, Ploni Almoni.
No, Machlon.
Oh, Machlon.
And here you're giving them such a tikkun at the end. I feel like, is this like a tikkun for that? Like, I'm trying to figure out, why is there just so much emphasis on how much...
Why did they get to have their name remembered?
And it's like giving them like this kibbutz, and it's
Right.
like there's such stuff, but they weren't, and it's, to me, it's a little off.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it hopefully at the end. Okay, it's a really good point. Like, why are we so wanting to? What?
Halacha.
It's halacha. Okay, it's halacha. It's halacha. It's
It
halacha.
sounded like they were trying to wipe out their names earlier.
Hashem was punishing them. Mamash punished them and killed them. Right? Like, it would seem that there was nothing. But also remember, there's also Naomi. Like, there's Naomi and there's Ruth and
also,
Ruth,
like
who
her
and Boaz.
Yeah, who she was
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, but it's also halacha, and it's also we don't want karet to happen.
Right.
I mean, there's a reason there's halacha. Is that we don't Shem Hamet is Shem of a person, and the hemshech of a person is important. Like, it's not.
Isn't that the same idea also with the non-slappai? Like, also for him, it wasn't that he was such a wonderful person also, but the daughters and the
Were
halacha
tzadikot.
still comes through from
Right,
them.
right. I mean, there are people that say he was a good guy too, but yeah,
So
nachon.
I'm saying there's a lot of halacha
Yeah,
that
this is
comes as
right.
well.
Nachon.
Yeah.
Okay. Now remember, this is the people that were like Zot Naomi and didn't really respond to her. Okay, so now we're going to see also a tikkun in terms of their response to the whole situation. Like, they're now going to be also very positive. Okay, Pasuk Yud Aleph, Vayomru kol ha'am asher bashar ve'azkenim edim iten Hashem et ha'isha haba al beitecha kerachel ve'kelea asher banu shtehem et beit Yisrael ve'aseh chayil be'efrata ve'kara Shem beveit lechem. Okay, so there's a really beautiful bracha and a very interesting bracha, because where are we? We are in Beit Lechem. Beit Lechem is Shevet Yehuda. Who's the mother of Shevet Yehuda? Leah. And notice that they say, let the woman who comes be like Rachel and Leah. It's a acceptance that really Rachel is the main wife of Yaakov. Which is it's an amazing testimony to that. Even in Beit Lechem Yehuda, they're saying Kerachel and Keleah. okay? Which it's really beautiful. But the Malbim here brings they're giving 3 brachas to Boaz. So the first one is bracha al haisha, she'agam shehi bat akum mitzat sheba al beitecha. Okay, so first of all, it's a bracha about Ruth. It's true she was Nochriya, she was Moaviyah, but that she's coming into your house, and you're such a Beit Tzadik kamocha, tiyeh b'tzidkata kerachel v'kelea. That even Rachel shayu gam ken bnot Lavan ha'arami, right? Rachel and Leah were also not Jewish born, supposedly. They were not Jewish born, but let her be a blessing, just like Rachel and Leah were a blessing for Yaakov. That's the validation is Davgul Yaakov banu shtehem et Beit Yisrael. They built all of Am Yisrael through Rachel and Leah. So again with Ruth Kenny banem mimena bait ne'eman shehi Beit Malchut, which ultimately we're going to see is it's the Malchut that's going to come from Ruth. Okay, so it's the first bracha. The second bracha leBoaz, right? And so it said kerachel v'kel asher banu shtehem et Beit Yisrael ve'asechayil be'Efrata. Okay. So that's the second bracha. Bracha leBoaz, ve'asechayil be'Efrata ki beit lechem hu shem iro, ve'Efrat hu shem mishpachto, shayu miyuchasim. Like Ephrata could be the place. It could also be just that they're atzilim, they're noble people of the area. Shetasechayil sheze kolel kol hashlemuyot ad shiyu letiferet lechol mishpachat Ephrata. Okay, so they should be the descendants through this wife should be like and be a praise to Ephrata, which they will be, begadol. And the third one, and the third one is in the next pasuk. Let's first read the next pasuk. Vehi beitcha kebeit peretz asher yalda tamar leYehuda min hazera asher iten Hashem lecha min hana'ara azot. And your house should be like Beit Peretz from Tamar. Again, this is a very interesting mentioning of why are we bringing Tamar and Peretz here, right? LeYehuda min hazera asher iten Hashem lecha min hana'ara azot. So there's a few reasons. One is they're from Peretz. Okay, this is their ancestors. So you should be like Beit Peretz. Okay. Number 2, Tamar and Yehuda had also an aspect of ibum to it, right? There was and Onan, and then Shelah was supposed to be the Hemshech, but then Yehuda wasn't giving him, and in the end Tamar takes things in her own hands, which Ruth also did to some extent. But there it was a little bit less. Boaz is making here kosher, so that's the second aspect, and I think the Malbim brings this bracha le'abanim shetolit shehagam shehem bnei yevama v'yikru al shem hamet בכל זה, הלא גם בית פרץ שילדה תמר היה גם כן מעניין הייבום ויצא ממנו פרץ, והוא מתייחס ליהודה. So that even though you might have children that are going to be in the name of Machlon, we still think of Peretz as Yehuda's son. Meaning they're not necessarily just on Aaron Onan, although Yehuda is the father of Aaron Onan. But ועליו נתלה כל הכבוד בית אביו, כן יהיה הבית שישתכלל מן הזרע שייתן לך מן הנערה הזאת. Okay? So very beautiful bracha. For the wife, for the husband, and for their descendants, right, from the Am.
It's also interesting that you're saying that through Rachel, but I'm thinking Leah, and I'm also thinking of the fact that Leah was supposed to marry Esau, and he had the red hair and everything.
And David is going to have the red hair.
Comes through Leah, which is Judah, and then there's David who takes on. It's like
also his like tikkun. It could be, yeah, mamash. But again, like I think that okay. פסוק י"ג, ויקח בועז את רות, ותהי לו לאישה, ויבוא אליה, וייתן השם לה הריון, ותלד בן. Okay, so he takes Ruth, and again he marries her. ויקח is to marry her, and she's his wife, and he comes to her, וייתן השם לה הריון. It doesn't say that in any other place in Torah, in Tanakh. And this bracha, and here I think is where the midrash is. I think I brought it here. No, I didn't bring it, but it is here, the midrash. There's a midrash here that says, like, Ruth astat shela and Boaz astat shelo. Now he's going to do his part and give her the hirayon. The Chazal say she was also a kara, and that she shouldn't have gotten pregnant. Remember, she 10 years was married to Machlon and didn't have children, but that Hashem is noten la hirayon. Because every person did what they needed to do, and so Hashem is saying, because the truth is that if there wasn't a child now, then I thought I brought this here. Yes, it's in 11. ויתן השם לה הריון, לשון מעין זה אינה נמצאת עוד בשום מקום במקרא. ואפשר שבא לומר שכל הצורך שטרחו רות ונעמי ובועז בהקמת שם למת הצליח בעזרת השם. And I was thinking about that. If there hadn't been this child, all their beautiful chesed and beautiful thing, it wouldn't have done anything. Like it would have still been beautiful, but there wouldn't have been a result unless Hashem allowed this child to be born. ולולא נתן השם ההיריון היה הכל לשווא. מתן ההיריון אינו בידי אדם, אלא בידי השם לבדו. It's also a lesson for life, right? Getting pregnant is like a blessing every time. It's really, Hashem decides. וכן בא הכתוב להגיד כי השם גמל לרות על חסדה עם נעמי, על נאמנותה לזכר בעלה, ועל כניסתה תחת כנפי השכינה. Right? So Hashem is blessing Ruth because she was so good to Naomi. She's ne'eman to her husband and her willingness to become a Jew. So I also brought here the Rav Bachrach. This book is actually a beautiful book. It's just like, it's like a read, and he basically goes through the story very beautifully. Rav Bachrach was, he was a Rav in Universitat Bar Ilan, and I think he also he was the makim of Baharan, of the Opana. כרחל וכלאה, אשר בנו שתיהן את בית ישראל, וכן גם תמר ורות, אשר בנו שתיהן את בית יהודה. Okay? Rachel and Leah build the Shvatim, but Tamar and Ruth are what are going to build Beit Yehuda and Malchut Israel. Okay? So in the same way, זה הפריון למלכות ישראל, נשזר בחוטי החסד אשר משכו ותקנו האימהות הראשונות. And it's done, the first imahot did chesed and wanted to have the children of Yaakov, and these two mothers also, through their own sacrifice of themselves, were willing to build the malchut that's going to, and in the end also Mashiach is going to come from them. Rachel ולאה אף הן באו תהרו מגילולי ארם והתקדשו לישראל בכוח תפילתן, עתירתן והשתוקקות אל האמת הגדולה הזאת להיות אמהות של שבטי ישראל. So Rachel and Leah, who came from also Avodah Zarah, and they purified themselves with tefillah to become Am Yisrael, to be the mothers of Shiftei Hashem. וכמוהם גם תמר מדרך תמנתה ורות משדה מואב, אשר מסרו עצמן אל שבט יהודה. אף הן באו בקהל ישראל וקבעו את פריון מלכותו את פניני הטוב והנצח, אשר העלו מקרקעית נשמתן של העמות. And Tamar and Ruth take that same aspect of sacrificing themselves in order to be part and to build the malchut and bring this tov and nitzchi in the ummah. על כן הן דבקו בישראל וסוד אחרית הימים. Okay. So she has a boy, right? Thank God it was a boy also, right? Like, what if it'd been a girl? Anyway. He knows what to do, how to do it right, right? But Tomarna Hanashim el Naomi, Baruch Hashem asher lo hishbit lach goel hayom veikra shmo b'Yisrael. And the women who said Hazot Naomi, and she says Ani Mara, are the same women that now say Baruch Hashem. Okay, this is where we get Baruch Hashem. That he didn't stop you from having Goel, and now he has, and there's going to be a name in Israel. Naomi is the one who's now going to have a continuation, right? It's in her name. V'hayalach lemeshiv nefesh v'lechalkel et seivatech, ki kalatech asher ahavtech ילדתו אשר היא טובה לך משבעה בנים. Okay, and this is again a beautiful contrast. She said she was Reka, but now they're saying, look, you had Ruth, and she was better than 7 sons, right? She loved you so much, she was willing to have a child for you. And Hashem is Meshiv Nefesh, right? Also a very beautiful term. And also, this is also the acceptance of Ruth. I just want to point out. The Ruth HaMoaviyah, what are they saying about her now? They also recognize, not just Boaz, they're also recognizing the greatness of Ruth and everything she did.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe it's a crazy question, but she was so great, and then, but it doesn't come from her. First was Isha, and then there's like the next generation. Is it because even though she was such a magnificent person,
Ruth, you're saying?
Ruth, meaning that Hashem didn't want it, that the lineage came from a woman
Oh, I don't know. Why didn't it
why
come right away? Wasn't Oved the Melech?
Meaning, like, what was it about the next generation after?
I just think that these things are built in time. And like, for instance, Ishai is supposed to be him and Binyamin, the son of Yaakov, did not die from their sins. They died because of Adam HaRishon. They were tzaddikim. Like, tzaddikim, that they didn't sin. I'm saying, like, maybe it's just a process of making the melech. It takes like 3 generations, but it starts with Ruth. Ruth is clearly the originator,
No, I get it.
and the story is the originator.
Right.
But I think it's just because you needed Oved and you needed Ishai to get to David, not necessarily.
Timing wasn't right for the melody.
Yeah, it also could be timing of the that they're not ready. Yeah.
Connected all to Ruth, like if you always know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But then Ruth disappears at this point.
Exactly. So somebody said she did her job.
Okay.
She did her part, and she was really.
Continuing her, they're continuing Nomi, they're continuing.
Except for that, the book is called Ruth.
Okay.
I was saying, like, that's a big statement. We remember Ruth. It's not like, and we don't call it Naomi. We call it Ruth.
There's a lot of halacha that comes from
The Gerut that comes from it, and also David HaMelech is attributed to come from Ruth. But I think it's a little bit like Peretz, like that Peretz is attributed to Yehuda. Like, even though, like, you know, Tamar, and it should be a name of Aaron Onan, but really it's from Yehuda. So, like, I think Basof we know Ruth, but this is the Hemshech of Naomi also. Like, I think that the emphasis, and I think it's also part of the whole story. The whole story is that Boaz, Naomi, and Ruth are trying to give a descendant to Machlon.
As we were saying, like.
Why? Okay, again, we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm saying they're trying to give a descendant to Machlon, but that is their greatness. They're not doing this for themselves. They're doing it for somebody else. They're willing to sacrifice to this extent just for the name of the Met. And I think that the fact that it's Naomi, that it's the name of, makes it, is part of the whole, what's important in the story.
I also think that there's a lot, besides just the fact of, like, who's going to be the next one to take on the Malchut, it's also the land of Eretz Yisrael. Like, there's so many halachot, like there's the Leked, and there's the Nachal.
That's beautiful, the connection to the land.
Is together.
נכון, ממש ממש. אוקיי. ותיקח נעמי את הילד ותשיתהו בחיקה ותהי לו לאומנת. Okay? She raises him.
It could be, it sounds like Boaz died that night.
I mean, that it is. I mean, according to Chazal, he died that night. Yes. According to Chazal, Boaz dies. It could be, but I haven't. Actually, the Chazal say that she lived to see David on Kisei HaMalchut, because it says there that Em HaMalchut has a seat next to him, and they say it's Ruth. Okay, so I don't think it's true about Ruth. I think the point is that this really is considered Naomi's descendant, because Basof, Boaz is also not her son. You know what I'm saying? Like, Machlon is her son. This should be raised by Boaz and Ruth, but it's really in the name of Machlon. Okay. Right, okay, according to Midrash, wasn't dead. But the point is, this is Naomi's grandchild. But it's actually, as I heard Rav Rosh Shapiro share, he's like, she's not his savta. There is actually no blood connection between, there is sort of very far apart. There's Ruth and Boaz are not related. It could be that Naomi is Boaz's cousin, okay? But I'm just saying she's not his savta, but she's considered his savta. Basofke, okay? V'tzikrena lo hashchenot. Okay, so, and here the Malbim, I don't know if you remember, we learned last week the Malbim that it's really as if this child has the neshama of Machlon, and he's getting a new chance to live in the world, so then it is sort of Naomi's child. So he said, Alfi zeh, הייתה לו לאומנת, כי הוא בנה ממש, ותישא אותו כאם האומנת את בנה, והשכנות אמרו שיולד בן לנעמי. The neighbors say, and you'll see the next pasuk, כי כן הוא האמת שהוא בן נעמי מצד האיבום, וכן קראו שמו שהוא בן נעמי, ושמו העצמי קראו עובד, על שעתיד לעבוד את השם, והוא אבי ישי שממנו נצמח מלכות בית דוד. Okay, so he's called Oved, but he's also her son, which we'll see in the next pasuk. ותקראנה לו השכנות שם, which is the weirdest thing, like the neighbors are giving the name, לאמור יולד בן לנעמי, יולד בן לנעמי, okay? Ruth is really out of the picture. ותקראנה שמו עובד, והוא אבי ישי, אבי דוד. Now, in this pasuk,
according to the Al-Shif, okay?
I didn't look at the Ashik, so.
According to the Al-Shif, it says here that she became his omenet, means that miraculously she was nursing
Oh,
him.
wow.
Naomi was nursing
That's
him,
crazy.
And that was a proof to everybody.
That's really her
that it's
son.
really her son.
That's beautiful.
Really from Machlon.
That's actually a very beautiful way of thinking. It's really bothering you. She was, but she also saw it this way. She really was doing this for the Shem Hamed and for Naomi. Remember, she brings her the Shibolim. She does everything for Naomi, right? And it fits Ruth, but it's like crazy, right? Yeah. Okay. But another strange thing in this pasuk is, V'tikrena shmo Oved. What's it doing here? Hu avi Yishai avi David. Like, why do we need to know whose grandfather he was? Our focus was that he's the son of Naomi. So why are we in the same pasuk saying that it's the grandson is David? Okay, so right.
No, well, no, because that was the whole idea of the
Shechiyut. Okay, maybe the Shechiyut that he has. It's not bothering you.
No.
Okay, fine. Okay. Right, nachon. That also they say is that he's called Ploni Almoni. This whole Megillah, so I was hearing some shir, I can't remember now which one I hear. I like to hear different shiurim, hear different things. But and he said as much as it's weird for us. No, I said that already. No, it's not that. No, it was comparing Vatikach. Right, it said Vailech. The beginning of Ruth, it says Vailech. Vailech ish mi Betlechem. The only other place that it says Vailech ish in this way, me, is about Moshe in Mitzrayim. Vailech ish mi Beit Levi vaikach isha. And they were saying that was bringing the Goel in Mitzrayim, and this is bringing the Goel of the Malchut. But there's no names in Moshe's Vailech ish. While here, I have to remember who gave the share because it was very, very good. But anyway, I'll try to remember. But here, there's so many names, and it's all about the names. Yeah, and no. So then at the end, I want to go through in a minute. We only have 5 minutes, but okay. So I had a few more things to say, but the names are so important, like you said. And there's so many of them, except for Ploni Almoni, which again he wasn't willing to bring the name of the Met because he was mashchit his nachala, and now we don't know who he is. Meaning so he loses his right to have a name. In other words. Right, there are mefashim that say it was Tov, Migalech tov. That was from Perek Gimel. We talked about that. That it says there, Im migalech tov, igal. Im lo, as there are people who say it's hinted at that his name is Tov, and then that's when I said he's Tov, but not Tov Mod, right? But again, like he's Tov and he's Beseder, but he's just, but not going beyond.
This yichus here is also just like there was a question
of David's yichus.
Of David's
Agreed.
Legitimacy.
נכון. No, David's. Right, נכון. It says beferush that Boaz married her. נכון, but there were questions in David's time, that, especially by Shaul's supporters, that were saying, oh, but he's a son of a Moabite, so how can he come and be a king?
No.
He's not legitimate.
Even just to his mother, right? Yeah, to his mother also. But
his mother.
About his mother, the father was afraid. The father was afraid
Ishai.
that
Oh, there is a midrash about his mother.
Were not legitimate.
Right, nachon.
The whole discussion of Moabit came up again.
Right,
so he wanted to have. He plotted with the maidservant.
Right. That's a midrash. This is all midrash, by the way. Yeah.
No,
He plotted, yeah.
Midrash, but it's based on what's going on
in Shmuel, that they don't bring him. They don't bring David.
They don't consider the other brothers. Do not. They always look down.
Put him on the side.
Not considered one of the brothers.
Nachon. That's true. Even in his own house, you're saying. Even in his own house, there's like questions. Me'achus. But definitely, and we talked about how Ruth in general is meant to be legitimization of David, because by Shmuel, like Shmuel who anoints and says Hashem chose David. He's now confirming that David. Look where he comes from. Okay. Let's just finish the last psukim, and I wanted to bring Dat Mikra's sikum, so let's just do it. Ve'ele toldot Peretz holidet Chetzron, veChetzron holidet Ram, veRam holidet Aminadav, veAminadav holidet Nachshon, veNachshon holidet Salma, veSalmon holidet Boaz, uBoaz holidet Oved, veOved holidet Ishai, veIshai holidet David. Now, so we're obviously wanting first of all is the point of Ruth. Okay, we see the point of Ruth is to bring the yichus of David. That's number one. Number two, though, Ele Toldot. In Tanakh, there's 11 Ele Toldot. Okay, 9 of them are in Bereshit. Okay, and they're this I heard in a shir many years ago from Rav Mordechai Sabato in Matan. 9 of them are about the establishing of choosing, right? Each time it's choosing towards the Am or the people, Am Yisrael, right? So it starts with Ele Toldot Shemayim Va'aretz, and then it's Ele Toldot Noach, and then it's Ele Toldot Shem, and then it's Ele Toldot, after Shem is Terach, Ele Toldot Terach, I think there is Ele Toldot Terach, Ele Toldot Avraham, Ele Toldot Yitzchak, and Yaakov, I don't remember if there's Yaakov or not. I think there is Ele Toldot Yaakov. In other words, though, it's the slowly choosing and understanding who is the Am that's representing Hashem, okay? The other time that it happens is in Bamidbar. I think it's Bamidbar, and it's Ele Toldot Moshe. Okay, so it's like the establishing of the Kehuna. Ele Toldot Aaron, I think. I have to look it up, exact language. And Aaron. Right. Let's look it up. I don't like to. I know it's in order to establish the Kehuna. That I know. I think it's in Bamidbar. It could be. It's either in Bamidbar or in Shmot. 1 second. That's funny, but that's the only other place in Torah that there's Ele Toldot. 1 second. Let me just find it. I don't want to just quote without knowing. should have looked this up before, I apologize. I think it's when we have the mifkad at the beginning of the midbar. I'm just going to make sure. Gimel? Thank you. It's Ele Toldot Moshe? Oh no, Ve'ele Toldot Aaron u'Moshe. Yes. So it's establishing the kehuna. B'yom diber Hashem et Moshe b'Har Sinai. Ve'ele Shmot b'nei Aaron. Right. So you're right. It's Aaron v'Moshe, and then we go on in with b'nei Aaron. Okay. So there you're establishing the kehuna. The only other place of Ele Toldot is here, where you're establishing the malchut. Okay. So you have Am Yisrael, kehuna, and the malchut here. Okay, so this Ele Toldot is a really important phrase that we're having. Okay, and then you have the listing coming from all the way back to Peretz. I just wanted to bring a few things at the end. Okay, let's do the sequence. I didn't bring that about Oved, why his name is Oved. I thought it was just a really a sweet midrash here in 13. Al Shem Aviv ve'al Shem Imo. Aviv shaya zaken v'nasa isha l'shem shamayim. It's about his father and his mother. His father who was old, but he still married somebody l'shem shamayim. His Ruth l'shem shamayim. V'nikra Oved Elokim, and he's called Oved Elokim. V'chen hu over v'yavod Yisrael be'isha. Al Shem Imo. Al Shem Imo v'shavte v'reitem ben tzadik l'rasha ben Eved Elokim l'asher lo avdo ben Ruth le'orpa. That Ruth here is seen as an Eved Hashem because she chooses to be davek be'Hashem versus Orpa, who decides to go back. V'Ruth davka b'yichud l'chach karu shmo Oved. Tzadik nasa tzedeket. Uven tzadik gamor. Okay, a tzadika means tzedeket, so he's a tzadik gamor. Shlishi lo b'char bo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shneimar v'yivchar b'David avdo. Okay, so David is also called avdo, coming from Oved. Okay, now that Mikra I just thought had a really nice conclusion of what we get out of Ruth. Okay, so first of all, lamanu godel ma'alata shel mishpachat David HaMelech. If you think about it, different kingdoms, like what